Okay guys, out and about on the Vosges 900 DSX, and different helmet, so I'm testing the screen out just to see what it's like with an helmet without the peak. Yeah, but going on from what I was chatting about before, trying to get comfortable, it's a muggy 26 degrees. It was okay while I was getting ready, but as soon as I sat in the sun connecting the microphone and the camera, etc, it got a bit warm. Yeah, so I actually got down to the Vosges main dealer in Morpheus City, as I'd spoke about in the earlier video regarding looking at bikes with the possibility to buying them for this tour idea. And of course the dealership is quite happy to sell you as many bikes as you want, as long as you're paying for them. It's not a problem. So when I inquired about a few of the bikes in their range, one of them being the Vosges 300 Rally. Now the Vosges 300 Rally's been out quite a while, and there's a few for sale here second hand, but mostly in the north of Spain. Straight away the salesman in the showroom came back with the quote that he's given everybody, even looking at the Vosges 900 DSX. He was saying that no bikes are now coming into Spain until the new year, and the earliest he was saying they're looking at getting them is February. And these are going to be E5 Plus, so they're going to be more restricted on fueling than this particular model I'm on at the moment, which is the Vosges 900 E5. So the E5 Plus brings in more fuel and emission restrictions to the ones already in place, and with that obviously the problems with mapping, etc. So looking at options, I got in touch with a couple of insurance companies, one that I insure with and one that I don't insure with. I'd asked the question, and basically I was trying to get the fleet of bikes that I was thinking of buying to be fully covered, but with any named driver or any driver with permission. Now the reply that I got back from several companies, bearing in mind there are people doing these tours in Spain and in the UK that have just got their bikes insured for them, and supposedly anyone they lend it to, but it's not quite that easy. In Spain, all motorcycle policies generally are in the rider's name and the rider's name only. You can add extra names to the policies, but obviously if we're going to do a tour based idea, ringing the insurance company up every week and giving details, your license, your passport and all the rest of it, it's going to flag up as a business, and it's not going to be domestic use as it were. So all the bikes I've got at the moment are for my own personal use. They're fully comp, but as soon as you start adding lots of different names to policies, the flag raises, and then they suddenly realise that you're actually hiring these bikes out. So from there I was still thinking of doing this, looking at it, and I asked for possible quotes that we could get, and one company came back and said, if you register the bike, so obviously they've got to be new bikes, and I don't know the details and how this works in Spain, but if you register the bikes from new when you're buying them as public transport, so public transport to me brings on connotations of buses and trains, but if they're registered as public transport, you can pay an extortionately high premium for each bike, and then I'm assuming rent them out for your tours, and there's going to be a plethora of caveats added onto this. Obviously with each client hiring the bike, you're going to have a large deposit, and you're going to have either third-party fire and theft insurance like you do with a car hire, but with a massive payment if you crash the car, and they're talking €2,000 here, or you can take it fully comp, but if you crash the bike or the car, there's a 500 excess. So I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but it didn't sound as easy as I first thought it would be to do the idea, although I'm sure there's some way around it. But personally I don't want to go down the illegal route. If we're out in a group and we've got 4 or 5 bikes out and we get a police check and all the bikes are in my name and I'm supposedly lending them to other riders and there is a problem, it could come back and bite me. So I'm still looking into that. The problem with the newer bikes again is delivery time, like I just said. I mean, February, March, April next year is going to be no good to me because it's going to be way into the season where we want to be riding. And in the beginning of this video I talked about different ideas that I've had, and also these are ideas where people on my channel have actually contacted me and said, look, I live in Holland or I live in Germany or wherever they live, and I would like to do a ride down to you and do a tour with you. So a tour out to different regions, as I mentioned earlier, and these would probably be a 4-night based tour, so 4 nights accommodation like I spoke about previously, and we'd have the first night stop obviously at our farmhouse with self-catering, or we could get supplies in, etc. What we thought we'd do, because we've hired this out before in the past, it used to be on Airbnb and TripAdvisor before my wife got ill. We were going back about 5 or 6 years ago, and before COVID, and we used to rent it out quite a lot. It was quite popular with the walkers and mountain bikers riding push bikes, not motorbikes. So what we thought we'd do this time, we're going to go along similar lines, but we're going to, because we're 20 minutes from any town, we're going to stock the place up so it'd be full of beer, full of red wine, full of white wine, spirits like whiskey and gin, vodka, etc. in the mixers. And we're just going to have an honesty box, so we're not going to charge, if everything goes to plan, we're not going to charge any more than we've basically purchased the beers for. So beers are fairly cheap in Spain, like 50 cents a can, something like that. So if you were to have a beer out the fridge, there'd be an honesty box. If you had 10 beers, just put €5 in the tin, etc. Not a problem. Likewise with wine by the glass or by the bottle. If you wanted to buy a bottle, they'd be just at supermarket prices. So bottles of wine here, you're probably looking at €4 or €5 for a good bottle of wine, you know. And spirits again, it'd be by the measure. So if you have a measure of spirits or a double, there'd be a list there. The honesty box will be there. Just drop the stuff in the tin, and that will work out fine. So lots of ideas and lots of logistics to go through with the ideas that we've had, and all workable, all doable, apart from the fleet of bikes at the moment that we're looking at getting. I mean, we've narrowed it down to the Vos 300, the CF Moto 450, and looking at it, a few people have said about the CB 500. Well, the Vos version of that is the 500 DSX, which is readily available. Tongue tied again there, guys. So that would still be an option. It's the insurance thing we've got to get around. So I think early on in the season, and by early on I mean back end of January. It is a bit nippy up here, but it will have sunshine. Back end of January, early February, we're hopefully going to get everything ready so we can start doing this. But initially it may be that those of you who are interested will come out on your own bikes. Obviously you'll have to find accommodation on your way down through Spain, and then we'll do this 4-day tour that I spoke about. Some stunning scenery in this part of Spain. These roads going to Theatha and up to the castle are not the best roads. They're okay on an adventure bike like this. You really have to have your wits about you because there is a bit of sand on the corners, so you have to be watching all the time. Not so bad coming back the other side because you're away from the hillside. And often if I'm coming back the other way, I'll have a bit more of a turn of speed than going this way. I'm totally conscious all the time of looking way ahead, especially on these standard tyres that are on the Vos at the moment. Back end can step out a little bit, so you've got to be careful. But yeah, these roads in general are pretty rough compared to roads that are further into inland Spain, Castilla la Mancha. And the ride I talked about before is in Ride magazine. And what I'll try and do in this video, I'll try and put a link to the write-up on it. And stunning ride. I mean, we did it last year, me and my wife. We stayed in Riopar Spa Hotel, which I spoke about before. Had a cracking night there, good night out. Great ride the following day. Took us most of the day doing the circuit. Got back, had another night in the hotel, and then set off the following morning heading back. But stunning countryside. So yeah guys, I'll film a bit of this ride up to the castle, and I may cut bits out that are, well, none of it's boring really. The landscape is stunning. I've got the 360 camera on, so I will be able to pan around and show you some of the views that I'm seeing laterally either side, while trying to concentrate on the road. Yeah, so this idea that I spoke about before, I'm really passionate about doing it. My wife's really passionate. She wants to do something again and be involved in something. With her illness, she got pensioned off from work here in Spain teaching on a full Spanish pension. The system here in Spain is pretty good. There's it's not like the UK where you have to jump through hoops. But she never asked to. She was quite disappointed and quite upset that she couldn't go back to work. But it is what it is. So she's on a pension absolute, as they call it. So that's it. And yeah, so to be involved in something, not for monetary gain for my wife, you know, just to be involved, come out on ride outs with us on some of them. It would be something she'd really like. She's really into motorcycling now. Funny how life grabs you guys. Before she had a cancer diagnosis with breast cancer, she was terrified of flying. She'd get on a plane and she'd be digging her nails into my hands and absolutely petrified till we got up, and she'd have a glass of wine and calm down a little bit. But she was really frightened. And also motorbiking, we've had lots of motorbikes over the years, and she was never ever keen. She would do it just to be with me and get out on a ride with me, to enjoy the togetherness, if you like. But she was always a bit frightened, she was always a bit scared, and she never really enjoyed it. She was very tense all the time. Anyway, after her ordeal and after we came out the other side, she's pretty much fearless now, and it's my wife often who says, come on, we'll go out in the California, come on, we'll go out in the Vosges. And she really loves it, really embraces it. And I think a lot of that, I mean, I'm not going to push my beliefs on any of you guys, but a lot of it is down to faith, and we have a strong faith that we found shortly before my wife got diagnosed. It's any of you guys, if you come over and you want to hear it, I'll be quite happy to share it with you, but like I said, I'm not going to push my beliefs down your throat or try and convince you to believe in anything, but we do have a strong faith, both of us, and it's that that's got us through to a large extent. And that faith that's going to get us through and do these motorcycle tours. I spoke previously in other videos about my work here in Spain for the last 18 years. I had a large construction company in the UK that was mainly commercial, and I had a lot of lads working, never intended to work when I came to Spain. What I was going to do in Spain, I was going to flip a few properties, get cheap properties, do them up quickly, maybe have a few months working, flip them round, and the rest of the year I wasn't going to do anything. Financial crisis hit in 2007. We had a property that we were stuck with, it we rented out. Someone asked me to build a house for him, so I got back on the tools after being semi on the tools for many years. And all these years later I'm still building and doing joinery. And loving it to a large part, but obviously as you get older the body gives out. I've been in the building trade now for 46 years, so it's tough on the body, and something that I really enjoy motorcycling would be a great way to head towards retirement and have fun and meet like-minded people that I could have that fun with. So guys, I'll probably stop waffling. I tend to waffle on a bit, you'll have to excuse me. If I do, tell me in the comments, I don't mind. Like I said before, I'm a big boy. If you tell me to shut up and just you enjoying the scenery, that's good enough for me. What I did a lot of my early videos, I used to have music playing, and people used to say, stop the music, cut the music out, especially if I was on something with a loud exhaust note, like my original 500 Classic. I had a beautiful exhaust sound on that, and people would be constantly telling me to turn the music off so they could hear the bike, etc. I think the thing about the DSX 900 is this has gone so smooth now, guys. When I first got it, you may remember I spoke about it being very sort of jangly and rattly, almost tappety if you like, or the valves being a bit jingly or jangly, and I'm convinced that's down to this 4.4 update. And I think the mixture must have been way out before. The engine used to run really hot. A lot of people have spoke about this, and often when you get a lean mixture on a bike, they do run a bit warm, and I think it'd been dialed in very lean just to get through emissions and through tests. But yeah, I'm not being crazy getting on the other side of the road, guys. There's a huge tree root there, so anytime you see me taking an unusual line, even the roads near my house, you'll often see me going down the white line in the middle of the road. That's about the only part of the tarmac that's still intact. It's that bad, it's unbelievable, to be honest. So we're going to end up going up now to the castle, and like I said, this video's been shortened a bit, but they say on the first day when you arrive, if we do this tour thing, well, not if we do this tour thing, when we do this tour thing, it's going to happen no matter what. We've decorated through on the other house. My wife's going to change all the bedding, it's going to have new bedding all the way through. Like I say, there's going to be consumables in the house for you when you arrive. If you've got any preference or you've got any allergies or anything, we can get food in, everything can be stocked up. It's more about you guys enjoying the whole experience than worrying about, you know, trying to get shopping and doing different bits. So we're going to cater to everyone's needs. Yeah, so this is heading up to the castle now. This is an old Moorish castle. I just wonder what that guy was doing there. Very strange. Now this is typical of the roads further out of this region, so they're quite wide, quite bendy, very smooth. Again, going up here you have to keep an eye out for the tree roots. There's a couple of bad ones here up on the stretch, especially if we're going on the supermetering coming up here. So long, twisty, curvy lanes, tree line, mountainous. This part of Spain, they call it the California of Europe. And the crazy thing about this part of Spain is the boundaries on land. You don't see any dry stone walls or fencing. So that's one bad tree root. Aye. So it's pretty much like Canada and the wilds of America, where you can start walking and pretty much walk for 100 miles if you like to cross the mountain ranges. And although you are on owned land, there's no reason why you can't walk across unless you see a sign, obviously saying private. So it's a big expanse of a country, and it's the second most mountainous country in Europe. And I can't remember if Switzerland or Italy is the other one. I would imagine it'd be Switzerland, but Spain is the second most mountainous country in Europe. Yeah, so a beautiful climb up to the castle. We're rising all the way up now. Some stunning rock formations, some great trails over to my right hand side that go round old quarries and they use a plaster here called yeso, and they used to dry it out in these old quarries. But the trails that go up, the fire trails, are forestry commission trails. They're, depending whether we've not had any severe rains or torrential rain, then they're washed out. They're generally of a fairly basic level if you're used to riding fire trails. Very scenic. And this is stunning up here, guys. It's right on top of a mountain. There's a little ermita, which is a little church here, and the old Moorish castle that you can walk up to. But just a great chill out ride to take and unwind, and some of the views are just absolutely breathtaking. So you can see the castle on the top of the hill there, and you can see the little ermita just hiding behind the trees there. Steps going up to it. And we'll just spin it round here. Park up in this beautiful spot. And the more I ride this bike, guys, the more I absolutely love it. It's amazing. They're all different, as you know. I've got different styles of bikes for my different types of moods, but for going on an adventure or riding somewhere, this is absolutely incredible. So guys, we'll get the 360 off. So you'll probably be spinning around now because I've unscrewed it off the thread, and I'll extend it out and show you the views and the scenery. Let's turn the bike off, and yeah, one thing you have to watch when you're riding around these mountain trails is wild goats and mouflons are called. So they're these big bearded goats, huge big things, size of a donkey, and you can be riding along a road and you'll see one ahead of you, and you have to be really careful because they're in groups and they'll run across the road in front of you and then jump 6-8 foot stone walls like the wall on the other side, and without a problem they just run up them. And wild boar again, you have to be careful of wild boar. A friend of ours who lives on the road we've just drove up on in the middle of the countryside where we live, a young lad was driving past 10:30 the other night. She had a screech of brakes and he'd hit a wild boar and it wrote his car off, and the boar rolled down into her garden, and the following morning it was gone. So either someone had took it for the meat or it miraculously got up and limped off, or whatever it did. But yeah guys, it's this time of year I call it onion weather. And the reason I call it onion weather is you start off in the morning, especially if I'm working. I go out the house and I've got a pair of jeans on, I've got a fleece on, t-shirt and maybe a jacket if it's really, really cold. Well, by cold I mean 12 degrees. It's not cold to you guys in Northern Europe. But yeah, if I go out and it's 12 degrees and then I get to the job wherever I'm working and I start working, I get towards 10 o'clock and one layer will come off, and then I get towards 11 o'clock, another layer will come off. And you get to midday and it's like 25, 26 degrees and it's stonking again. Bearing in mind you're in jeans and not shorts like in the summer, so yeah, taking the layers of onion off. Yeah guys, so stunning scenery, stunning bike, stunning routes to ride around on, and with your help guys, I know I can make this happen. I know I can do it. I don't want to just put the house back on Airbnb or TripAdvisor or whatever we had it on before and rent it out. It was okay, but I want to do something that I enjoy doing, and there's nothing better in life than having some sort of job that you enjoy doing. I mean, I do get satisfaction out of doing joinery work and bits and bobs, but like I said, a bit long in the tooth, and riding this 900 has been a real eye-opener. A few guys have been commenting, why don't they make Vosges 900 with a 19-inch cast wheel on the front and a 17 on the back? Well, the reason they don't, guys, is this bike is designed for what it's designed for. It's designed for the rough roads where I live, and that 21-inch wheel with the spokes, it glides over those rough roads like it's on butter. And if you get something like a V-Strom, you can have a 19 or a 1917 mixture, and you can have them in spoke on the XC model, or you can have them in cast on the more road bias model. But both of them don't go over the bumps like this goes over the bumps, and I always thought a 21-inch wheel would be a bit cumbersome on a bike. It wouldn't turn in too good, but this, whether it's because of the steering damper, I don't know, but when I had the Royal Enfield Himalaya a good few years ago, that was the same. It used to turn in great. It's a really nippy bike that used to turn in the bends, and this is the same, guys. Really flickable, sure-footed, gives you loads of confidence. Yeah, for these Pirelli tyres you get standard on it. I've got 4,500 on them now, so I'll probably get, I don't know, there's still a bit of tread on them, but I might get a few more thousand out of them before I put something intermediate on them. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up now, because I've waffled on and on about bikes, different bikes I like, bikes I ride, ideas, and ideas of getting together with you guys and riding, and enjoying what we love enjoying doing, and that's motorcycling. So guys, I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to enjoy the ride back. I don't know whether this camera will pick it up, but directly in front of me, I'm pointing that way now, on the top of the mountains, there are some antennas, and them antennas are on the mountain behind my house. So as the crow flies, I would say it's probably 10, 12 mile away, some 15, 17 kilometres, but obviously on the road going around it's a lot further. But yes, that's the Ricotti Valley down below, and it's renowned for growing citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, peaches, and that meanders all the way through the mountains, right the way down through Thietha, Aberan, Blanca, down past Ricotti, Hojos, and then Narcena, where the Roman spa baths are. And that was another idea, spending a day chilling out there and unwinding, get rid of a few aches and pains. But yeah, guys, lots to think about, lots to talk about, lots to engage with you guys about, and I'm definitely going to sign out. So ride safe, enjoy your motorcycling, guys, and I'll catch you in the very next video. Take care, peace out, guys.